Hey guys, it's Miharu.
And Mark.
And welcome back to SpyroCast. This is episode 27, and today we have the one, the only, the Aether Guy, Lore of the Dragon, Shooter.
Yes, that is me. Hello there. I want to see General Kenobi in the chat when I say that, just so everyone knows.
Hello there.
General Kenobi!
My first question is, what is your history with Spyro?
Oh boy, big question. All right, time to probably peeve off a lot of people. In short, Skylanders. Anyway, so it's a very long history, and I think it starts all the way back with Skylanders Giants. Now, I had no idea that Spyro was its own game at all. I'm one of those guys. So, I'm like, all right, you know what? I like this Skylander game. My parents got it for me. I just kind of got the Xbox. I remember playing it for a bit, probably 6 months to a year. And then I completely forgot about it because of a game called Minecraft. I don't think anyone's ever heard of it.
It's very underground.
I think, yeah, it's
Yeah, nobody knows what that is.
yeah, it's a very small indie game. Anyway, so I think with that, I just kind of forgot about it because Minecraft, Halo, Destiny, very small games. I was into those very small games no one ever heard about. That sort of stuff. However, those games had some story, and they were pretty good, except Baby Destiny. At least the original story. Stories following that up were actually pretty good. And that actually plays into a part of why I started a Lore channel, because over time, the enjoyment of stories in video games and the backstories intrigued me from Halo and Destiny. Because, I don't know, they seem cool. Because they gave some context as to the world, what you were doing, and that just sort of carried all the way to, I think, 2018, when I saw something called Skylanders Academy. I'm not sure anyone's ever heard of it. It's on this thing called Netflix. It's very, very remote.
Underrated streaming service.
Yeah, I know, it's
Might as well
crazy,
be
right?
now.
It's almost as...
Yeah, you're right, with everything else.
Yeah, it's almost as unknown as Disney+. Yeah, so... What I ended up doing after that was I said, hey, you know what? There's this thing I remember. It's called Skylanders. And they have a show about it. I was like, huh, that's interesting. And I decided to watch it, going with basically no expectations whatsoever. And then I figured out it's not that... Oh, the first season wasn't that great. I will give it that. The second season and third seasons that's where it was like, mwah, yes. I'm still kind of annoyed that they didn't do a fourth season, but that's beside the point. So what I ended up doing after that was, I don't know, I think I looked up Skylanders, and I'm just like, Skylanders isn't that bad. I still thought Spyro came from Skylanders up until that point. And then I realized, oh no, he doesn't. I think the revelation of that was I saw a video by Jordan Fringe talking about something known as the Reignited Trilogy. I doubt anyone here has heard about it.
Everything is completely underground.
Definitely, no one knows any of this stuff I'm talking about.
It's very
So anyway,
exclusive.
Yeah, so why are we here?
I don't.
Well, once we
I
have
quite
heard of it.
frankly don't. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, yeah. So I decided to look more into this Reignited Trilogy. It was a strange new place, and this new Spyro, he actually didn't look like a frog. Which was very interesting. I will say the Skylanders Academy design does look pretty good. I will say that. The Imaginators version, that's a different story. So, I decided to look more into this. And lo and behold, I found something called the Spyro Rebirth Theory by Canadian Guy A. And then an entire world was opened, known as All of Spyro. And that's where I learned, man, there's these original games that look like they're made of triangles. And there's these legend games that look like Lord of the Rings, but it's interesting. And then
Man, it's so polygonal.
Wow. It's almost like technology couldn't make 1,000 pixels at the time. It's nuts. And then I figured out, oh wait, there's like 3 different versions of Spyro. And I realized this is Reignited Trilogy coming out. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Got into that early 2019 and said, hey, I like this Canadian Guy A folk, and I just joined the server. That was around CTR when that was getting hyped up. However, still, I was like the small pocket of, man, Spyro's new. That's crazy, man. So
Yeah.
I just started getting into that. Next thing I know it, the enjoyment of lore and story started to seep in after I played the Legends trilogy, because I played Spyro Reignited, then I played Legends, and then I think I'm with the Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, something like that. And yes, I played the Skylanders games out of order. Don't kill me for it.
Well, I was actually going to ask you real quick. I don't mean to derail the conversation, but like, how did you find Giants? Was it just the one that stuck out at the time, or like, did you not realize there was one before it that was like that had Spyro on the box, or like?
I think last time he said his mom got it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So so I was a wee lad at the time, and let's just say my mom would get me stuff, and I had no idea what it was. The only thing I knew was Halo and Minecraft at the time, because Destiny hadn't come out at that point. And I said, "Wow, new game! What's this purple dragon thing?" Because I never got Spyro. I think I got Cinder or something, or Flashwing. And I always said, "Man, I wish I had Spyro." Now I'm looking at it like, "All right, kid, you need to sit down for a second." Boy, I mean, it was just, I think I heard about it at some point. I never got the figure because I didn't know how to get it, because I was, I didn't know what the internet was. I was that young. Just bear with me. So I think...
What is the internet?
Yeah, I think my introduction to the internet was actually like, I get on YouTube and I saw Minecraft videos, and that's how I got into Minecraft. So it was, I'm one of those kids. Don't beat me up for it. So I think I kind of heard about Spyro, and it was partially because of my mom just getting a game that she thought was interesting. That, or I saw it and I thought it was interesting, so I got it. I don't remember. I think it was at a Target. Or I remember a Target at somewhere in that story. Maybe it was because I wanted to keep going to Target to get the Skylanders. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, that's kind of the story of Skylanders. But yeah, I didn't know anything about these other Skylanders games. I saw, there's Giants. I didn't know anything else. Mainly because that was the game that came out at the time, and there wasn't really... I didn't really look for Skylander games at that point, so I didn't know what Swap Force or whatever these new games were, because I don't know. I didn't pay attention. Maybe I was stupid. I have absolutely no idea. But in general, I had absolutely no idea about these games. I had no idea Spyro had his own games in 1998 all the way to 2000, and I didn't know what Enter the Dragonfly was. So, I mean, I don't know if that was a saving grace or not, but depends on if you enjoy that game or not. But... I'm yet to play it, at least fully. So I think going back to the present, I ended up just sticking around the Kananga stuff. I ended up just, I guess, getting further into the lore, and then, boom, I'm like, hey, there's no channel for this. I had no idea that this original Spyro existed. I had no idea that Skylanders had any other games. I didn't know about the Legends trilogy. All up until, when I learned about Kananga, the Rebirth theory, etc., etc., etc. Next thing I know I get into that, I start thinking about, there's no lore channel. That's interesting. So I'm like, I remember these lore channels for Halo and Destiny. Maybe I should make one for Spyro. Next thing I know what I did, and... that was an interesting journey, let's just say that. That was, I had a couple of people help me along the way with that. Namely, people like Kananga, who actually I talked to at PAX East 2020, and he sort of convinced me to actually make it. And then I just started, and I think the rest is history. Because now it's been like a year since I started it, and it's been nuts. So that's sort of been the journey thus far.
All right. That sounds great. And you've been doing good on your channel.
I like to think so.
For just a year of doing that, you've been very well.
Yeah, and I got to meet a bunch of people like you and Mark, and I can make a room reference every time I meet him.
Don't give me any credit. I petitioned for Spyro back in 2017, so I'm surprised that got nowhere.
Well,
I did a lot of videos on Spyro. Been like, hey, when's he gonna come back? Because Crash was already
and eventually
on his
it did.
way. Yeah, because Insane was renounced, and then I was like, okay, well, I wonder if anything for Spyro's gonna happen. Like, at this point, something for Spyro has to happen. And all the teases came out. So it was a really crazy journey.
Yeah, you guys got to experience that. I got to experience absolutely nothing about that. I got stuck knowing absolutely nothing until it all got dropped on me like a bomb. Just that, casual bomb, knowledge and panicking about the fact that I know absolutely nothing, and I'm in a community that I know absolutely nothing about, but it's just casual.
Casual.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What are your favorite and least favorite Spyro games?
Oh boy. Well, I guess I'll take a book out of Canadian Guy's thing and say either I can say Reignited Trilogy, because that's pretty good, including Spyro 3, even though I know some people don't like that. And it definitely has some weaknesses, so I'll say that to be polite. Now, I know some people might disagree with this, but there might also be, or the favorite spot might actually be A New Beginning, not so much for the game itself, but the premise. I think Miharu has commented on this in my DMs. I focus a lot on Legends, and that is not on purpose. I just enjoy the story a lot. It's a problem.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's a problem.
I'm glad somebody does.
It's again the story itself. There's promise. There's a lot of things that could be done. It's just I don't think they were executed as well. And in some cases, I guess you could probably say the same thing with Skylanders. Though Skylanders has not the best story, but it has gameplay, which I honestly enjoy the gameplay of Skylanders. Just putting that out there. Just when it comes to story, it's more I enjoy the originals and I enjoy Legends, because Legends has a lot of stuff that you can build upon and whatnot, theorize and speculate about. It can be somewhat the same way with the originals. However, it's limited by certain things, and it's part of my frustration with the Reignited Trilogy is that it doesn't leave anything to speculation about what will happen next, which I wish there was, but it's supposed to be a remake of the original trilogy, and that didn't really leave anything to be speculated about either, so I can't really complain about that.
Well, if you listen to my the last SpyroCast with Oliver Wade, he said the whole point was it was fun gameplay. The whole point was fun gameplay, so they didn't have a lot of time or spend a lot of time thinking about story.
Oh, yeah, I understand that very well. And I highly doubt they expected someone like me to come into their story and go, what's this about magic? What's this symbol?
Yeah, right.
I don't think anyone
Aether?
expected me. Oh, God. You should not see me when I go through Magic Crafters or Dreamweavers. I am just, it's nuts. It's very, I contain it very well, I think. But when I'm in those levels, I see that symbol, I'm just like, yes, I like that. Give me more.
Give me more.
It doesn't help in one of the levels in Dreamweavers that you have not only the symbol, but then you also have purple magic or energy below it.
Uh-huh.
Just trust me, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god. So, yeah, that's... At least for the Reignited Trilogy. I'm yet to actually go through the originals and see what things I can pick apart and then promptly get, shot down really quickly because of the fact that I didn't think about story too much.
Okay. So, A New Beginning is your favorite, and what's your least favorite?
Okay, just because of the fact I spent a week on a video in talking about something in this game. I'm just going to say Shadow Legacy. Not because I think it has bad gameplay. I've never played it before. Keep in mind.
I've never played it either, but the story is weird. The
frustration I've had with that game, making videos about it, is such a... it's painful. It's very, very painful. I'm fine with people liking the game. I'm fine with people liking the story. But I swear, I spent a week on a video talking about the sorcerer because everything doesn't make sense. It was a pain in the neck.
Yeah. I wanted to make a video about Shadow Legacy, so I'm like, I have to go through a long play of it, and just to make sure I get every little thing in it, just so I can say how weird it is.
You might want a guide.
from the little bits I've seen, it's like, what is even happening? Like, why is this happening?
I mean, okay, this is the thing. I will say this about Shadow Legacy. I like Legends, I like the premise. Execution, however, they might have missed a couple points. Mainly, I don't know. Again, I haven't played it. It's just, there are some things that could definitely be improved, just like Legends and all these other games. But my experience with it thus far has been rather frustrating. However, I will see about playing it at some point. That way I can actually put, thoughts on gameplay as well. But yeah, I think it has some good stuff. But, making a video about a character and that is, it's rather interesting. Let's just put it that way.
All right, next question. Do you think we could be getting a new game this year?
Short answer, no. Long answer, I think we could be getting a hint or even possibly a trailer at some point. However, a full-fledged game, I do not think is a very likely possibility at the moment. If there's something else that comes up and says, oh, by the way, Spyro's coming out in December or something, if it says something like that, one, I'm going to be excited. Two, I'm going to be like, what the heck? But
yeah.
I was literally thinking about that. I was like, logistically, realistically, maybe December at the very, very earliest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, the thing is, again, and it's, at least from what I've seen, and apparently, Crash Force started, was it 2017? So right after Insane came out, and before even Reignited came out, Crash 4 is being made. So it's a very distinct possibility that we could be looking at something like 2018 for Spyro 4. However, I'm not entirely sure if the normal AAA development time frame would fit for this game. One, because, and I'll say this, I think Spyro demands a bit more attention than Crash, just because of its style.
Of course, yeah.
So it could be, 3, 4 years, 4, 5 years, I'm not sure. But along with that, there's also that whole thing about this, or 2021 being the, I guess, year of Crash Bandicoot. So that's not saying that Spyro can't have an appearance. That's why I think there might be a trailer, get people excited for 2022. However, when it comes to 2021, I think we're just getting a lot of Crash stuff at the moment, which is cool for, fans of Crash Bandicoot, because, they're getting stuff all year round. Hopefully we get stuff all year round for Spyro next year, so we can have, we can have things a bit fair.
Like, the problem is, like, it's a blessing and a curse for Spyro to, like, demand more, attention, in, like, making one of its games.
Yeah.
Like, again, because it's like, it's great because, like, there's a lot more to it than Crash, but it's also sucks because we have to wait longer for a Spyro game to come out.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe we're getting, like, just judging by, Crash 4, we could probably be getting something like the best Spyro game to come out outside of a couple of these other games, because they've got 20 years of fan feedback behind them for this new game.
I'm hoping for the best one since Spyro 3.
Oh, yeah. If you really want to say that, it's been 21 years. But, we'll see. Hopefully, at least a bit of me yelling into the abyss has been heard by the development team, and they finally say, just to shut this guy up, we're going to add some lore to it that he can find as a pacifier. And if they do that, I'll be very happy. I will not cry anymore until I've sucked it all up. But that's another story.
That's what I'm going to do too.
Oh, dang. That's crazy. Oh, no, this
suck it all up.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. There's going to be nothing left in, like, a week. Oh, no.
Nah. Depending on how much is stuffed into the next Spyro game, I'm going to have enough to talk about for, like, years.
Oh, yeah. Just imagine if they, like, go, oh, yeah, by the way, there's some free stuff to download. We're adding post-launch content. It's like, All right.
Yes, DLC.
All right. Oh no. I mean, that would be interesting. Make it like what they're doing with Halo Infinite. Just sort of make it the next Spyro game for the next 10 years or something. Just keep adding on to it. That would be nuts. Yeah. But no idea if they do that quite.
Remember when we thought we were gonna get DLC for Reignited?
Well, this is
they promised new orb challenges.
Yep.
I mean that's just a remake of the original, pretty much, just with some added stuff.
True, but Insane got DLC.
Yes, except they were like 2 levels.
So.
And one of them was a cut content.
Doesn't matter. Just put cut content in. Tell me what's behind the artisan's door.
There wasn't cut content from the original. What do you mean?
You saw Boundary Break. It's nothing. There's nothing there.
No, put something there.
Yeah.
Put a little treasure chest in there. Bianca pops out and she says, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for releasing
me. Bianca.
Just drive people insane. Just like put something that looks like Cinder's tail blade inside of the artisan door. Just watch everyone go crazy.
Cinder's face appears in the sky, and then the screen goes black.
Oh my god! Wait, they add the cinder, the broken cinder plate into the game, just one day randomly. Oh, yeah, that would.
She says, "Fly to me, my son."
Oh my god, it's happening! Oh,
and the game crashes.
It's canon. You just
soft locks your game.
It's both a blessing and a curse.
Oh, I love it. And last question, what are some of the most important things that you think a new game should have?
Well,
not lore, of course. Anything but that.
Are you tempting me, sir? Okay, well, obviously, I can't say lore. Anyway,
too much lore. It's too much.
Yeah, that would be me for a week probably, just trying to decipher like literally 1 second of a trailer. But so for a new game, honestly, I think you should have a lot of environmental storytelling. Now, Reignited did this pretty well. Just I would like it expanded upon if it can be in the new game. Like with the dragons in Reignited, you'd have a lot of these characters with different symbols or objects on them that sort of like said, oh yeah, this is what they do. However, I think when it comes to the environment itself, I think it could again be expanded upon at least a little bit. I'd like to know what that symbol is that keeps reoccurring all over the place, that people think I'm that one guy from the Pepe Sylvia gif or whatever. I just want to know what it means. Like, tie environmental storytelling in with something within the game itself that we can say, oh, that's what that is. I want that. And that's what I think is important. Is you can add all the story you want. However, when you're walking through these areas, I think it's important that you would go through them and be like, not only does it look very good, but it's also, wow, I wonder what the story is behind it. Granted, that's probably just me talking, but I think that would be important to do.
But if NPCs like gave you like, bits of information stuff, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat. They just seem to give me this stuff. Like, come on, it's just
something.
Give me. Electronics.
Why are you turning an engine?
My cortex. I need it.
Oh my god. Yeah, just like, what did I say last time? It was something about, like, Dragon Age versus Mass Effect and how, it does its storytelling and stuff like that. Yeah. Like with Dragon Age, I can't understand a thing that's happening with the story because one thing, I've never played Origins because of PS3 issues, because it's dumb. But, also, I can't understand a thing what's going on in the story because, like, what the characters are saying, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then the little things that I pick up, it's always, like, giant notes and, like, books full of lore, and I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to read this.
I do that. I mean,
I just don't have time to read. I don't have time to read lore. I like picking up little notes, and maybe if it's like a tiny paragraph, and like I guess not lore of the dragon. No, lore of the world. Lore of the dragon.
I mean, that's what it would be. That's what it is. There's a reason why I chose that name.
Not lore of the dragon. I hate that. Anyway.
Oh, ouch. I guess I'll leave.
I guess I'll leave then.
No, I'm not wanted.
Man, hate that guy. Why is he on here?
I don't know. That guy sucks. All right. Yeah, but I think it would be. I think I mentioned something last time as well. It was and this is sort of to go along with environmental storytelling. As much as I like scrolls, granted, I think that this should be a bit shorter, just so they are. You can more easily digest the information given to you in a shorter amount of time. However, I think there should be a lot of stuff that connects to each other. That would be interesting. Make a connected story. But anyway, back to environmental storytelling. There's I have to go back to this. In Halo, essentially, there's a bunch of ancient structures, 100,000 years old. And one of these things is coincidentally called Halo. I wonder why. So, in the original game, you are on a ship, advanced ship, at least one of the most advanced ships humanity has at that point. However, it gets attacked, and you have to land on this ancient ring. You have a giant... It's a giant floating ring in space, so bear with me. They have to land on this thing. They have no idea what it is, but when you land on it, it looks like the Pacific Northwest. It looks Earth-like. However, as you travel, there are these ancient alien structures. They're somewhat rusted. They have dust on them, and there's nothing really to tell you what they are. It's just that it's advanced, it's old, it's been there for a long time. Something like that. Yeah, that would be cool to see.
Yeah, like little things like that don't like subtle things. Yeah, I like that.
The world speaks to you, basically.
Basically, just like interconnectivity, which they really did touch upon in Spyro 2, how a good chunk of levels have like a sister level where they'll share similar-ish NPCs of like the same race or something, or the one that you'll notice it first and foremost in particular is in both Zephyr and Breeze Harbor, because there's a war between the two of them. And so you're helping one side out in one level and the other side out in the other level. So there's world building in that regard. But yeah, to have lore drops of like, if they introduce like some kind of a civilization thing or just the dragons, because Bianca tries to exposition it just a little bit in Spyro 3. But besides that, you don't get much of the dragons or where certain characters came from or something like that. So like, if they did little things without too much explaining to be able to kind of show you this is where this is from or where so-and-so is from or something, along those lines. I think the example I went with last time we tried to record this was Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric was going to do that. The whole concept of the ancient hedgehog echidna civilization dealio was cut ultimately from like the story, but bits of it still remain, where you can see like these big structures and statues of hedgehogs and stuff, and you were going to interact with that stuff as well. You're going to jump through the big ancient rings and all that.
Actually, that's a good topic for video now that I think about it. Like, for a place called the Forgotten Realms, there's nothing that seems quite forgotten about it. Like, structurally. Yeah. Like, you think there would be, like, dragon statues or something like that. Like,
I have a theory on that, actually.
Yeah. All you get is, like, little exposition bits that the characters say and stuff like that.
The thing is, I think, along with sending the dragons away, because keep in mind, the sorceress had 1,000 years to herself, basically. What I think ended up happening was the entire thing about the Forgotten Realms, that's at least primarily the name given to it by the dragons, not necessarily those inhabiting the Forgotten Realms itself, because, they haven't forgotten it. But, beside the point, what I ended up, or at least what I think happened, was the sorceress wiped out anything that had to do with the dragons, at least on a surface level, because she didn't want their influence or any past myths of them influencing anyone within the realms. However, of course, that ended up happening when the dragons came back and everyone sort of, heard about them. However, their influence would be slowly slowly diminished because it was the sorceress in control, not necessarily the dragons, because they were on the other side.
True,
of the planet.
But she still needed their magic.
Yeah, she didn't particularly know that up until Spyro 1 or Spyro 3. So that's the reason why the game took place. So what I think ended up happening was it was mainly ego. She would have wiped out any existence of the dragons within her realm at that point because she was, the queen pretty much. So there wasn't any point to keep them around. Plus, she didn't particularly like them anyway. So.
True, but you still think there'd be some kind of, ruins. I mean, there's desert ruins, but...
Maybe, but it could have been remade over that 1,000 or over that millennia into something that would more suit what the sorceress saw as fit for the Forgotten Realms, not particularly what the dragons. So it could have been adapted per se. They still could be there, however, their use is different. For instance, you have houses that are from the from the 1700s or even the 1600s. They've been remade so many times. Yeah, something like that. They've been changed so many times. They still are the original structure. However, they've been modified to the point where they don't particularly look as they did all the way back then because of all the things that have happened to them. They've been, they had a new coat of paint, or different parts of it have been torn down, rebuilt, etc. So it's still somewhat similar, but it's not particularly the same structure as it was all the way back then. That's what I think ended up happening to all the dragon structures. They weren't destroyed because there wasn't any point to destroying them. That would have been a waste of time. And, I mean, what better way to rub it in someone's face than to actually just go, oh, your structures are mine now.
Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah.
Like a freaking egg thief.
Yep.
Just think it could, it could look more like it's named. And there could be, a little bit more to, because it's called the, Forgotten Worlds, Forgotten Realms. So...
Yeah.
The structurally or something about the environment itself could look a little bit off, I guess. I always thought it should feel like it should feel like it is named, and it never quite felt like that.
Yeah,
it did sort of, but never fully.
That could also, make the aforementioned Bianca's little speech a little more. How's I gonna word that?
Impactful? Makes sense?
Yeah, pretty much. Because if you got a sense that dragons were around instead of everyone having to tell it to you, then by the time she confirms it, in her exposition, that's the word I was trying to plug for in my head.
Right, then you'd be like, oh, okay, so I was right about the theory.
It would click, yeah.
But it's by that point, it's well, I already know. It's she's just telling it to Hunter. It's we already know, but she's just telling it to Hunter.
Yeah.
Alright. So we're gonna end it there. Thank you so much, Shooter, for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'll make sure to link to your channel in the description below. Everyone go check out Lore of the Dragon. Got some great Spyro lore videos, and a very popular one about Cinder.
Wow. That's crazy. I wonder why.
Because everyone loves Cinder. Alright, and as always, don't forget to subscribe for more casual gaming content and for more of SpyroCast. And, yep, I'll see you all next time. Till then, this is Miharu.
And Mark.
Signing off.